Hello and welcome back to our Canada's Used Car Week live stage. I'm Joe Overby, Senior Editor of Auto Remarketing Canada and co-host of the Auto Remarketing Podcast. And joining me today is Vincenzo Ciampi, who is Senior Vice President of Auto Finance and Dealer Services for Canada at IA Financial Group. Vincenzo, great to see you. Thanks for joining the show.
Thank you for having me, and really excited to meet you in person.
Absolutely, likewise. Well, wanted to start just sort of with a kind of an overall macro look at the auto finance market in Canada. What are some of the general health concerns, opportunities of the market? What are some of the biggest challenges you're seeing for dealers and others in the auto finance space?
So I think the most important thing we have to start with is the macroeconomic factors.
Yeah.
We can't ignore what's happening south of the border. We can't ignore also the fact that affordability for Canadians and Americans both are really, really becoming a very front and center issue. And the price of a car has gone up by almost 30% since the pandemic. So for an average Canadian to go out and buy a car, and used cars also have had a huge increase in price. Affordability is the number one concern for people getting into the car purchasing decision. And that has in fact, has a direct impact on what we do when we provide loans to the market.
So what are, to get specific with IA Financial, what are some of the market factors and metrics that you're watching that are impacting the business at IA Financial?
So one of the things that we look at very carefully is when we look at a loan, we look at the credit performance. We also look at default. We look at, are people more likely or not to be unable to pay for their loan obligation, right? We look at those factors. And then we look at, like I said earlier, the price of cars, which has a direct correlation to the portfolios that we manage and the likelihood or not of someone defaulting on the payment.
And how are some of the technologies kind of making that job easier?
So before, in the past, AI was being experimented with. Now AI is becoming foundational.
Yeah.
We're using it for decision making. We're using it for profiling. We're even using it to see if there's any fraud activity. AI is becoming very, very integrated into our operational framework.
Yeah, I can imagine it's kind of it's two sides of a coin. It's scary how much it can do, but it also can help prevent some of the things like fraud, but also, evildoers can use it to actually perpetrate fraud. What are some maybe safeguards that you guys are looking to either use AI or other technologies to safeguard against fraud and that sort of thing?
So we have a fraud detection program within our company. And so it's a robust program. And we use technology to help us. But it's not just the technology, it's also the people that are working in our division who are trained appropriately, who are able to flag certain indicators. They're able to deal with customers, able to understand if there's any red flags. So it's never, I don't believe the technology can completely eliminate the need of people being involved. We're a very people-centric organization, but we also have been using technology to help accelerate the work we do.
So, for companies in the auto finance space, you have almost two groups of customers, the regular Joe consumer, but also the dealers that you work with. What are some of the needs that dealers are coming to you with and saying, we need your help with X, Y, and Z?
So the dealers obviously are also needing faster response time, faster decisions, more automation in the way we deal with the customer journey. Those kinds of things are really coming front and center. It's really the speed at which it takes for an answer to come, a decision to come. That's really what we're seeing speeding up over the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be good news for those dealers and for consumers like you and me, because the longest thing we do at the dealership when we're buying a car is in that finance office.
Yeah.
And it feels like no matter how quickly you can get the rest of that piece done and pick out of the car, then you're like, well, I got to sit in the finance office and figure everything out.
Yeah.
To have what you're talking about with a speed to decisioning, you know, take that customer who's happy halfway through because they have a new car and make it a quicker process.
And in addition to going fast and doing things operationally well, one of our jobs is to make sure that the client's needs are well understood.
Yeah.
And so that the F&I has all the products and the training to enable the experience to be really strong. So it's not just getting the transaction done fast. It's also all of the training programs we have to make sure that the dealership has the best solutions at his or her fingertips to provide the best service to the client.
So is the training programs, is that something where you send out folks from IA to the dealership?
Correct.
Okay.
So we have the largest sales team in all of Canada in the dealer services space. And so we're proud of that. We're coast to coast, and we make sure that all of our dealers have coverage in person on a regular basis so that all the dealers can get answers to the questions. We also do a lot of outreach. We also send things by email. Obviously, some dealers still looking for paper, so we actually send pamphlets still to some dealers who are not yet as advanced, but we are very close to our dealers, and we're constantly providing them with the tools they need to educate their clients. And another thing that's important is compliance.
Yeah.
The legal landscape is changing very quickly. And so one of the things that we bring is we're a large insurance company with a very strong compliance team. So when laws change, we're very quick to adapt and ensure we have the right products that are legal and lawful and respect the new laws that are coming into effect.
Is there, in the United States, one of the challenges, whether we're talking about, trade laws or finance laws, is that it's almost like you have, a national law, but then you also have a patchwork of 50 different jurisdictions of state law. Do you have the same thing in Canada with provincial laws where Ontario might do things one way, but, Manitoba might do it a different way?
So absolutely, it's exactly the same, just on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
So instead of having 50 states, we have 10 provinces. And those 10 provinces all have their own regulatory framework.
Yeah.
They all have their rules, and they all have different ways of looking at whether a product is an insurance product, whether it's a warranty, whether it's a non-insurance product. And so our strength as a group is we are in all provinces, and we have a very strong team that is able to stay abreast of all the different regulatory changes, because it is a quickly evolving landscape.
Yeah. Well, last question before I let you go here. What's on your radar? What are some of the trends you're paying attention to in the second half of this year and into next year?
So the trends are to continue working very closely with our dealers to stay abreast of any requirements they have. We're always coming up with new products. So to be very nimble on the product design and the product delivery. The regulatory part is very important as well. And all the stuff that we talked about regarding artificial intelligence, fraud detection, making sure that we have the right tools for the client, but also for the dealer. Those are the things that are driving us for the next 2 quarters.
Very good. Well, we'll leave it there for today, Vincenzo.
Well, thank you.
Great talking with you. Thanks so much.
Great talking with you too.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be back with more from the Canada's Used Car Week live stage. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.